Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and I've got my final video of the week using the Nail Team glitter collection of the week, the sparkling glitters. Now this design is a recreation of a set done by the incredible Annabelle McGuinness. So if you'd like to see which glitters I've used and how I created this design, please keep watching. Working on my Liza hand today, and I will be using crystal clear as always in these designs. It's very simple for colour. I have got Angel White, the perfect white acrylic in my opinion, and I have got Bella Rose as a cover acrylic. And then the focus of this design, the sparkling glitters, I have got Mirrorball and Dark Mirrorball. These are two silver glitter mixes. As you can see, one is slightly darker than the other, and I thought they would be really pretty together. Now I've been a bit naughty because I've not used gems or Nail Team tips in this video. I just dug out some old stiletto ones just because I wanted a slightly shorter, thinner stiletto shape, and I've got loads of other nail tips that I never use, so I thought, why not? Starting off with my thin clear base, and then we'll get into the design. Now the real focus of this design is my colour block nail, along with those glitters of course. So I'm going to start off with the colour block nail. I've been doing a few in my videos recently. So starting off with Angel White, too much, so I've just taken a little bit away. It's better just to take some away than try and work it into the design. I'm going to really tuck it in around the cuticle, so I've got a nice neat cuticle line, and then I'm going to use the belly of my brush just to get the shape of that first line, that first wall, which is the end of this block. Now it's not going to have to be a perfect line because I will use my craft knife as you've seen me use before, and I'm not worrying too much about apex and structure because I will encapsulate the entire nail if it needs it at the end. Again, this is what I've been doing recently. So here you can see I've come in with my craft knife. I dip it in acrylic powder so it's not going to stick, and then I'm just going to slice away the excess, just take it away, and then I just want to let that set ever so slightly. I did go in and just add a little bit more Angel White on top, and I've just cleaned under the nail. Because I did this, I did want to I did file this line just slightly before I did the next block of colour. Now you want to be extra careful if you're using a craft knife on an actual person. If you are not confident, don't use it. Focus on doing the work with the brush and file. You can use string or dental floss or something like that. Only use the craft knife if you are really confident. Whilst that sets, on the middle finger I'm going to be doing an ombre, or a baby boomer should we say. So I'm going white at the tip, and you see I've just feathered it back roughly where that base nail free edge is. Really feathered it because I want to be able to blend my cover powder seamlessly into it. And I'm going to do all the work with white now, except the final block of the colour block. And on the pinky, I'm going to be doing a glitter ombre. I'm just doing a little bit of white from the cuticle, and I'm just sort of feathering it down just to sort of that base nail free edge again. Just feathering it out. I ended up taking it way further, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to add the glitter on top, and I can get the ombre with the glitter. Painting it on nice and thin. Angel White is incredibly pigmented, so you really can paint it on and use it as a design powder. It is a strength powder, however, and I'm just going to leave that to set, and I'm going to go back to my colour block nail and do the next block of colour. And I am using, I'm pretty sure this is Dark Mirrorball first. Once I put the other one on, you'll be able to tell. So I'm just going to do a line of this, so I'm patting it down. I don't really want to overlap it on the white that I've already done, but I'm going to give it a gentle file over before I encapsulate at the end, and I am going to encapsulate the glitter blocks. So here you can see I'm using the side of my brush just to straighten that line as much as I can. It's not easy because you get little dips with the glitter, but that's where my knife will come in just to tidy that up. Wipe away any excess, and I'm just going to let that set slightly before I encapsulate this block, because I don't like to do lots of work with my glitter and then encapsulate and smush it. On the middle finger I'm doing a full glitter nail. It's going to be an ombre between the two Mirrorball glitters, so starting at the cuticle with this one, I'm pretty sure this is dark Mirrorball. I'm just bringing that sort of halfway down the nail. I'm just going to feather it out slightly, and then at the tip I will do the other glitter. Remember, I'm keeping it thin because it's going to need to be encapsulated. And here I'm just encapsulating that block of colour. So I've just picked up a smallish bead, drained out quite a bit of the liquid so that it doesn't spread all over the place, and here just using my brush to work that line, keep the rest of the tip nice and clean. Just keep it nice and tidy, try and keep it as straight as possible, and then when it started to set, so it's still soft but not soft, you'll know the moment that it's okay to do it. I'm going to trim away the excess, and this is going to give me that nice straight line. Whilst that all sets, I'm going to go to my Baby Boomer nail and use Bella Rose from the cuticle and just get rid of that little bit of fluff, tidy up the cuticle so I've got a nice neat line, and then I'm just going to blend this down over top of Angel White. It wasn't fluff, it was a hair. So here you can see I'm just tucking those sides in and then just pulling it down, just blending it over Angel White. Just go in with a little touch more because I want to bring that blend slightly further down. Now I was going to add a few crystals, or I did add a few crystals on this nail, which sort of took the focus away from the blend. So if it wasn't perfect, it wasn't the end of the world, but for me, if it's not perfect, it is the end of the world. Adding some of that glitter at the tip on my pinky. I'm going to add some of the other glitter as well, so I've just sort of gone roughly up to where that white fades out, and then I'm going to put the other glitter colour in the middle. Back to my colour block nail, and I'm going to do a little block of Bella Rose. So I've picked up a smaller bead of this and this acrylic, and then I've drained out a lot of the liquid on my towel before placing it down. This will stop it spreading all over the place and giving you more work to do. I didn't feel that bead was quite big enough, so I've gone in with a second bead. Then it was too big, but that's all right. We can fix that and trim away the excess. Once I'm happy with sort of the top of the nail and the side walls, I just use the side of my brush to straighten up that line as much as possible. But I will trim away the excess. I just like to do as much with the brush as I can. And then once that's semi-set, I can go in with my craft knife after I've dipped it in my acrylic powder, trim away the excess. So I've taken a bit more this time because that block was too big in my opinion, and tidied up that bead. Now I'm going in, this is Mirrorball, this is the lighter one. So I'm going in with this at the tip of my full glitter nail. You can see the difference between the two colours when you look at them, but I quite like them, and I quite like them together. So here I'm going to just blend it into the first half of that with the dark glitter, and then just bring it right down to the tip. And here you can see I'm just adding some on the pinky, just in the middle, so it blends over top of the dark Mirrorball and then blends sort of into the white, just feathering it out slightly. Now while my colour block nail finishes setting, I thought, oh, I'll encapsulate my ombre baby boomer nail, so they actually see a bit of encapsulation in this video, but I have sped it up because I just find encapsulating boring. That's partly why I keep a lot of it out of my videos, and the other part is I tend to do all the designs and then encapsulate 5 hands in one go. And encapsulating the pinky as well, so make sure all of that glitter is fully covered in clear acrylic, and then just going in with a little bit more at the cuticle and get my apex in place. Once this is all done, I'm going back to my colour block nail, and I'm going to use the other Mirrorball glitter to do my next block. So I get that right up to that Bella Rose. Try not to overlap it, and then I'm just going to use the tip of my brushy sword just to push it up where it's gone a little bit too far down the nail. Use the side of my brush to straighten that line up, pat it down, and whilst that sets, I'm going to encapsulate the full glitter nail, the middle finger. So you see, I started sort of roughly where I want the apex to be with my first bead of clear, and then I pulled that down to the very tip, making sure I've got full coverage there. And then my second bead, which is at the cuticle, I then put my apex in place, and then if it's a little bit uneven, I've just gone in with a bit more. Encapsulate the glitter block as I did the previous one, so little bead of clear acrylic, do all the work with the brush, and then I will trim away the excess and let that dry before I do the final block of colour. Now my dad actually came in while I was working on this, and we started talking. I paused the recording for a moment and I forgot to press start. So I've already done most of that final block using Angel White. I didn't worry too much if I overlapped this time, so just make that nice and neat at the point. And once I'm happy with this nail, happy it's got all the coverage with that Angel White block, I'm going to let that nail set slightly, and then using a 180 grit file, I'm just going to go over the surface of the nail so that I can see those individual blocks, and then encapsulate in clear acrylic where that nail needs a little bit more structure and if it needs more of an apex. The other 3 nails are all encapsulated, so they just need to be filed back to shape, and then this nail is ready for crystals and top coat. Well, it's not now, we need to file these first and then it will be ready. Here they are, all freshly filed. I'm loving this design. I think it's quite bridal, even prom nails. I love those 2 glitters, and you can see the difference between them. I've given those nails a really good clean over, and now I'm going to focus on the ring finger baby boomer. I placed a little blob of Felicity Flex, and then I've got a clear zodiac bow. This is from Crystal Parade, and I'm also using some opals and some clear zodiac crystals, also from Crystal Parade. So I've just popped a couple of opals either side of that bow, and then I'm going to flash cure and then back into a Felicity Flex, and I'm going to start off from the top opal up to the cuticle, and I've done this on a little bit of a swooshy angle, and I'm just going to alternate between clear and opals. These were actually from, I think it was a Snowflake Sparkle Crystal Parade mix or something like that. And then in between each of the nails I'm just adding some little silver micro beads. So I'm doing this before I flash cure Felicity Flex because they'll just stick into that, and just picking them up with my crystal pickup tool individually. It's fiddly, but I think it is worth it. So I'm going to finish placing all of these little micro beads and flash cure the top half of crystals, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on the bottom half, just bring it down sort of the opposite side so it's that slight swoosh. And I do flash cure it very quickly just to hold them all in place before popping in the lamp for a full 60-second cure, and then they're ready for top coat. I'm not going to waffle on during this half of crystals, I'll just let you watch. So those crystals are all fully stuck in place. They've been cured for 60 seconds. Now it is time to top coat these nails. Just decanted a little bit out onto a palette for when I come to the ring finger and around those crystals. But here, that colour block is going to wake up, come back to life. You really see the two different glitter ball or mirror ball glitters. And on this nail I'm just going to add some straight from the bottle and the brush, just where on the big surfaces of the nail that you can see, and then using, I think this is the Phantom brush from Crystal Nails. It doesn't really matter what brush you use, just using a smaller detailer brush. I'm just going to get right up to all of those crystals, just get in any little nooks and crannies. It doesn't matter if I go over top of the micro beads, but I don't want to go over top of any of the crystals. I want to make sure I cover any Felicity Flex that is on show, that's not under a crystal, because Felicity Flex is tacky. So once this is all top coated, I'm going to pop in the lamp for a 60-second cure, and then this design is done, and I absolutely love this one. As I said, I took inspiration from Annabelle McGuinness. It's near enough a full recreation, but I loved how this set turned out. As I said, I think it's very bridal, very prom nails, but most importantly I would love to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments below. This is my final sparkling glitters design of the week, so I'll be back next week with a new glitter collection, so be sure to come back then to see what it is, and check out my Instagram for a few more designs using these glitters and using the colour of the week, the beautiful Bluebell. I'll pop all the product details in the description box, and don't forget, if you're shopping at the Nail Team, you can use my code Helen5 for 5% off. You can also use the same code Helen5 at Crystal Parade for 5% off there. please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Mwah!